Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Haven't shopped at Dollar General in a while, but I do remember doing a story about Dollar General selling motor oil that may not be suitable for use in cars because of the dates and so on. But they popped back up in the news. Sue sent me notes, and Steve, check this out from the Columbus Dispatch. Dollar General sued by Ohio Attorney General and their office for allegedly overcharging consumers. So it's general versus general. Good old-fashioned strategic combat on the field of battle. Jim Wilhelm wrote this. The Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost's office filed a civil lawsuit against Dollar General, accusing a Tennessee-based company of violating a state consumer protection law by advertising goods for one price on the store shelves and then charging a higher price when the items are scanned at the register. And this has been a problem for a long time, ever since they developed the technology to where you can take a product and scan it and have the machine read the scanner and then put up a price. It turns out that quite often mistakes are made in favor of the store. So they'll raise the price on an item in the computer, but not on the shelf. And I remember these stories going all the way back to early 90s and probably even before that, because Michigan had an attorney general named Frank Kelly, and he would go out and do spot checks at stores. And the number of errors that occurred, again, they were always in favor of the store, was always astounding. So this lawsuit was filed Monday afternoon in Butler County Common Pleas Court after Yost's office reported receiving results of testing done in October at 20 Dollar General stores by the Butler County Auditor's Department of Weights and Measures. And by the way, in case you're curious, if you are an attorney general in a state, this is a real easy thing to do. It'll get you tons of good PR because everyone looks at this and goes, oh, they should do something about that. And you step in and you do something about it. It's so easy to test. Send somebody into the store and have them just go and pick 20 random items and pay attention to how the prices are marked on the shelf and then compare them to how they get rung up by the register and watch what happens. The testing found overcharge error rates ranging from 16.7% to 88%. 88%. Stores are permitted to have up to a 2% error rate on overcharges under the Ohio Department of Agriculture rules, according to the Attorney General's office. So they even say you can have an error rate. We don't mind 2%. 88% might be an issue there. The Attorney General also reported receiving a dozen complaints about similar bait and switch advertising and deceptive practices by Dollar General between March 21 and August 22 from consumers in Franklin, Cuyahoga, Highland, Lucas, Madison, Richland, Summit, and Trumbull counties. One Franklin County consumer was charged $2 at the register for a bottle of shampoo that was listed on the shelf for $1, off by a factor of 100%. Even after price discrepancies are reported by consumers, Yost's office said that in some cases, Dollar General stores would not change the price to the store shelf price. So they're claiming that they would actually tell them, by the way, that just rang up wrong. They go, oh, okay. And then they would just charge you the correct thing, but they wouldn't go fix it to keep it from happening again. And again, this is one of the situations where, so where's the incentive for them to fix it? Why should they fix it if they don't get in trouble for it? So somebody's got to be in a position to step up and do something about that. So that's what the Attorney General is trying to do here. Everything we buy these days costs more. Ohioans can ill-afford businesses that draw people into the promise of low prices, only to deceive them at the checkout counter, Yost said in a prepared release. This seems like a company trying to make an extra buck and hoping no one will notice. We've not only noticed, but we're taking action to stop it. Dollar General, which the Attorney General's office says now operates 943 states just in Ohio, did not immediately return an email or phone call from the dispatch seeking comment on Monday. The Attorney General's lawsuit seeks a permanent injunction against Dollar General from further engaging in acts or practices that violate the Ohio Consumer Sales Practices Act, $25,000 fine for each violation, payment of actual damages to all consumers injured by the conduct, payment of the state's costs in bringing the lawsuit, and collecting any judgment awarded, and payment of all court costs. In addition, Yost's office seeks an injunction that prohibit the defendant from engaging in business until it satisfies all monetary obligations ordered by the court. So there's actually a hammer in there that says that you have to shut down while you straighten some stuff out. Ohio consumers who suspect they've been overcharged or are the victim of other unfair business practices are advised to contact the Ohio Attorney General's office at ohioprotects.org. And I can tell you that, in Michigan, there used to be a law called the Michigan Item Pricing Act, and there still is a law, but they've chopped it up a little bit and taken most of its teeth out. And it used to be the law that if you had a widget for sale, okay, and there's a widget on the shelf and a bunch of other widgets all for sale, you were required to not only put the price on the shelf, but the price on the widget itself. It had to have the price on it. Now, a lot of people say, hey, Steve, that does sound a little oppressive, that they got to put a price tag on every single item. What a nightmare. Well, they managed to do it for 30 years, at least, maybe longer, and it was fine. And every now and then, some business organization group would complain and say, this is so oppressive, it's putting us all out of business, we're all losing money, we can't do this anymore, please get rid of that portion of the Item Pricing Act. And they did away with it. And one of the things they said is that instead of pricing the item itself, you can put the price on the shelf. I've seen an item on the shelf that has 3 prices below it. And it's not one of these with a rebate this and where you're Krogering that. No. Somebody put up a price and they changed the price, and put up a second price, and they changed again, put up a third price. They never took down the old prices. And so which price is it? And now many stores have a scanner out there that you can use where you can walk up and scan the item to see what it's going to scan for. Are you going to do that for every item you pick up off the shelves? And of course, if you look at the shelf and go, oh, I like that price, and you go to the front of the store and they scan it, do you remember what that price is for each and every item in your shopping cart? And, obviously, if somebody wanted to, they could go through the store and go, oh, I'm going to buy this widget, and I'm going to buy this widget. Yeah, I've got two widgets here. I'm going to buy this pen, and I'm going to buy these glasses. And you could write down the price of every single one of those items as it is on the shelf. And then as the items get scanned, pay really close attention like a hawk and look to see if all the prices match up perfectly. And many stores, they won't. And I am convinced that knowing how unlikely it is that they'll get caught, they put less care into making sure the items scan perfectly well. And by the way, I've never heard of anybody saying the weirdest thing happened. I went to the store, bought an item because I saw the price on the shelf, and they scanned it and scanned for less. No, somehow. And this is one of those things. If you want to try to figure something out, sometimes you got to put a little thought into it. So when there's 10 items scattered about the store, and you buy 10 of these items, one of each, you buy 10 items, and you scan 10 of the items, and 5 of them scan for numbers different from the number on the shelf. If all 5 of those scan higher than the number on the shelf, it's not an accident. It's not an accident. And so I know there's going to be some people out there going to say, Steve, seriously, if it was an accident, it would be random. You'd have some more, some less. Somehow they're always more. And that's the thing. If you told me, Steve, it turns out it is a perfect random distribution. You buy 10 items, 5 of them are mismarked, and it could be that 3 are higher, 2 are lower. It could be that 2 are higher, 3 are lower, but it tends to work out in the end. If you said, Steve, if you scanned all 10 items, disregarding which ones scanned higher or lower, but your bill was right on the money, I'd have no problem with this. But I am convinced that stores know that the average person grabs a bunch of items, takes it up to the counter, and says, okay, I want to buy this stuff. Scan, bag, give me the money. Most people won't catch a couple discrepancies, even if they're in the wrong direction. So I'm glad the Ohio Attorney General is doing this. There was a time when the Michigan Attorney General, Frank Kelly, used to do this, and every single year he'd do this, hold a press conference, show you what he bought, show you what he should have been charged, and then show you what he was charged. And it happened everywhere, by the way. It was not just discount stores. It wasn't just convenience stores. He would go into the big department stores and do it. And it was just everywhere. It was just what they did. And they also knew that if they got caught, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So generally speaking, you walk into a store and they misscan the item and you go, hey, it's wrong. Oh, okay, we'll fix that. For the one time they got caught. All the other times, yeah, they skate on that and they get to keep the money. So good story from Sue's. Thank you very much. The Columbus Dispatch published it. Jim Wilhelm wrote it. Dollar General being sued by the Attorney General in their office for allegedly overcharging consumers in Ohio. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Relax. Nothing is under control.